Hey guys, it's Chris. How are you? This video is going to be called Learn How to Wait for Your Prayers to be Answered and Pray Through. I'm doing this video because people don't know how to wait for anything these days. They pray to God, and if God doesn't answer them within 5 minutes, or if they can't go around and heal people right away, they think that God doesn't love them. They lose faith. They grow cold toward God because they think He doesn't listen to them. And biblically, guys, we are to wait for some prayers to be answered. Some are answered quickly, some aren't, depending on what's going on with the heavenly host. One verse here that I always really liked. It's Psalms 27, 13 and 14. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Okay? Made it a point to say it twice there. Don't be impatient. Don't stop praying. Don't stop loving God. Wait on God. I have a lot of people, they call me every week. I'm still not doing good, Chris. I feel like saying at this point I really don't care. Because now it's about you and it's not about the Lord anymore. Because when the Lord doesn't answer your prayers, you just turn more into your own selfish desires rather than more toward doing the work of God. And you're never going to get better. You're never going to get healed. And you're never going to have peace. And it's like clockwork. Sometimes I pray for people and I'm like, why isn't this working? I don't understand. It's because they're lying to me and they don't push toward God on their own private time. Everyone that seeks the Lord gets the grace of God. Okay? We all get tested, we all get tried, but the Lord is faithful every time to do what He promised in His Word. Daniel chapter 10. This is the verse where it took 21 days for the angels to get through to answer the prayer. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me. We all know when the angels of God appear, we're in shock. People go deaf, dumb, blind. They fall to the ground. It's frightening when a real angel of God comes on you. Most times. I'm sure that it's not always the same, but most times it's a shocking event. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the voice of His words, and when I heard the voice of His words, when I was in a deep sleep on my face, and my face turned to the ground, behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands, and said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee I am now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Again, he's still scared. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before God. So the angel's saying, from the first day you started to fast and pray and humble yourself before God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. So he's sitting there praying, he's seeking the Lord, he's chastising himself. He's got his face to the ground, and it takes 21 days for the angel to show up. Okay? So, don't say I fasted a week and God didn't do what I want. Don't say I fasted 2 weeks and God didn't do what I want. Don't even say I fasted a month, because you may have needed 40 days to get the breakthrough you were asking for. It depends what you're asking for. If you're like, I want to walk the face of the earth healing people like your son right in the middle of the street, Father, you may need to fast 50 days. Because in these last days we will do greater things. You may need to fast so long that you go blind, and you may need to sit there for a week blind. and have faith that you're not dying until God sends an angel and pulls you out of the fast. Now, I'm not recommending you try that unless you know what you're doing, but I'm making an example. You can't put God to a limit. You can't say, I'm going to go fast 2 weeks and then God's going to give me the breakthrough I want. You can't name and claim what you get. You can try fasting for good things if they line up for God's will. If they line up with God's will, you'll get them. But if you fast a month for something that's not in line with His will, you'll never get it. Trust me. Trust me. And sometimes you could ask for things that are really great and fast and fast and fast, and He still won't give it to you because you're not fitting His plan. Let's just say you said, Father, I want to fast to be able to walk into a Satanist convention and win all the Satanists to your kingdom. Those people are not His. He doesn't want them, so He won't grant you that. Of course He wants some of them, but if you're asking something that's not in His plan, you're not going to get it. Okay, that's just an example. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me. This is the angel talking to Daniel, describing what took him so long to get there. The prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, we know he's an angel, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. Okay, so he's in shock. This angel still's got him stunned. The power of this angel's got him stunned still. And behold, one like unto the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. Okay, so in the end, this angel comes and carries out the Lord's work, clears everything up for Daniel and strengthens him. And the point again that I'm trying to make is that didn't come without him waiting and being patient. I want to read another verse, again out of the prophets. This is out of Habakkuk, however you say that, pronounce it, I forget. He's one of the minor prophets. It's funny today, people call themselves major prophets. Like, I know Ubert Angel in Africa calls himself a major prophet. Somebody should teach him that that has nothing to do with the importance of the kind of prophet he is, or the power in the prophecy that he's been given. A major prophet in the Bible is just the longer book prophets. They're no more important than the other prophets. They're no more powerful. So to call yourself a major prophet today makes no sense, because there's only 5 major prophets: Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel. Yeah. And the minor prophets, I wrote them down here, are Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Malachi, and Zechariah. So all the prophets in the Old Testament are divided into major and minor prophets. So I'm going to read from Habakkuk. This is one of the shortest books in the Old Testament. It's only 3 chapters. This again shows a prophet praying to the Lord, and he's complaining and he's sad that he's not really complaining, but he knows why the Lord's doing this, and he explains it. Let's look into it. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. So he's saying, why do you show me this violence and this craziness and this iniquity, and then when I pray to you, there's no answer, and these people continue to abound, and they get their way. And this is just another example of waiting on God in your prayer. You just have to keep praying. Therefore the law is slacked, and the judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which ye will not believe, though it be told you. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land, and possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall proceed from themselves. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as an eagle that hasteth to eat. They shall come all for violence, their faces shall sup up as the east wind. And they shall gather the captivity as the sand. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take of it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord. Thou hast ordained them for judgment, and Almighty God, thou hast established them for correction. Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look at iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he? And makest men as the fishes of the sea, and the creeping things, and have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with the angle. They catch them in their net, and gather them into their drag. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice unto their net, and burn incense unto their drag, because by them their portion is fat, and their meat is plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net, and not spare continually to slay the nations? So he's saying, because the wicked are rewarded in this world, why would they ever stop doing this? Notice he's saying, Almighty God, thou hast established them for correction, and ordained them for judgment. So while he's telling God that, he's frustrated that God is not answering his prayer to hinder his enemies, he's also, about 10 verses later, saying that he's aware that he's reserving them for judgment in the afterlife. So you can't always be worried about, your enemies thriving over you in this world. Even though I believe that God will take people down in this world and in the afterlife, there's verses in the Bible that say he's going to take away from those people even that which they seem to have, and to those that have been given things, he's going to give them more things. So, you need to learn how to discern this stuff, guys, but the bottom line is, every prophet sought God, and they didn't understand why he sometimes didn't answer their prayers, but that didn't hinder their relationship with him. It didn't change the way they prayed, and that's the point I'm trying to make, and that's it. So be blessed in Jesus Christ's mighty name, and have a good night.